We're just trying to close up the wealth gap, get to this generational wealth.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you. I am your host, Najah Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. Today is Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. And I want to say a happy birthday to a couple of cryptopians today: Brittany Hogan, Iffy Damon, Lola Whittle, and Rubia Lee. To each and every one of you, I hope that today is a beautiful day for you and happy birthday and enjoy your day. If you'd like to get a shout out for your birthday, please feel free to send me a text message at 424-317-7373. Again, that is 424-317-7373. And man, this cryptocurrency space, this money space, everything that has to do with self sovereignty is happening. And I am so excited about some of the things that we are going to be able to bring to you. You know, we thought 2023 was going to be relatively quiet because of all the debacles with the different exchanges, and we knew regulation was going to come in, but we didn't know how fast and furious they were going to be coming after all of the different exchanges. And so as I am looking and watching and just really trying to figure out exactly what the angle is, I am a firm believer in someone else's statement that they're trying to destabilize. They're trying to just make sure that nobody has access to the asset Bitcoin because they cannot stop that particular one. As it relates to these other cryptocurrencies, they're in talks right now today as to whether or not these particular cryptocurrencies are securities. And then, if they are securities, they're going to go back to those exchanges and have those exchanges pay a fine for selling a security. Now, I thought that things would be done just a tad bit different. I think, or I thought that what they would do is say XYZ coin is a security, and then they would give everyone notice that they need to stop selling that particular cryptocurrency or get the proper licensing to sell that particular cryptocurrency and give people time to really get themselves together and with their exchange specifically. But what I see is getting ready to happen and has been happening. They make a ruling and then they look like they go retroactive, like all the way back. And people are just getting fined. And there's so many different things coming up. There's a gentleman that was with Terra Luna, and that debacle with Terra Luna was first before FTX, and they just went back and indicted him or actually gave him some new charges. And so, as we look at this whole cryptocurrency space, I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but Sam Bankman Fried and FTX has really tainted this space. And so, I think sometimes it's for the better again because those individuals that are on Wall Street and are looking to make money quick and fast with this get rich quick train of thought. They have to step back and they've got to rethink things. They've got to readjust their marketing, and they've got to readjust their strategy for what they're trying to do in this space. And I think it's a great time for us. It's a great opportunity, really, for us to really engage in the education that we need to make sure that when it comes to this digital space, that we know exactly what is going on, what's happening, how it's working. For so many years, and I mean years upon years upon years, we have trusted everything that our financial systems have given us. And we've had to, because that was the way, we were raised. That was what was available. But now in this cryptocurrency uh, system, we have something, or a lot of us say, do not trust, verify. And Bitcoin is verifiable on the blockchain. And that is what that makes reference to when you hear people say, don't trust, verify. And we're here to start a whole new ecosystem. Well, the ecosystem is already started. We're here to help continue to build upon the building blocks that have been laid for us to really do something different for ourselves, for our community, and for the world around us. Just make things easier and really give just due to everyone, and make this a level playing field. And I think that's one of the beauties of this space, is we can actually have a level playing field. And people ask, how is that if you've got millionaires that are buying millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin on a daily basis, and all you're doing is buying $6 worth of Bitcoin every single day? Well, obviously, I can't say that they're buying millions of Bitcoin is equal to my buying $6 worth of Bitcoin. However, when this thing called Bitcoin does exactly what it's supposed to do through these halvenings and these different adjustments that are made to the Bitcoin blockchain and things of that sort, we are really going to be able to take advantage of just the small amounts that we are purchasing right now. And I'm excited about that. Again, it may not be for 5 to 10 years, because that's what we're looking at, but we do know that we are well on our way to make some major changes to close some wealth gaps. We're not trying to get rich quick, and we are going to learn as we earn. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we will get into our cryptocurrency conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we are going to get going here in just a second. All right, welcome forward, welcome forward. So, we have been having a lot of discussion about self sovereignty, and not just here on the radio, just in my personal life and with several individuals who are getting together on a daily basis to really plan out exactly what we need to do. Now, this is something a little bit different than I've always done because a lot of times when you're planning for your family, it's just really internal things that are being done that you're preparing for and that you're making sure that you're ready for no matter what comes your way. Well, recently we've started getting together in some of these small groups to really try to figure out how we pivot in this space. How do we pivot with jobs? How do we pivot with businesses? How do we pivot with our children? How do we pivot with where we live or where we may need to live? What types of things do we need to have in place? And really, with a group of individuals looking very closely at the macro, we're watching what's happening in the news on the macro level. We're watching what's happening in the news on the micro level. And a lot of times we really just come together and say, okay, what are our first steps to making sure and ensuring that if anything goes down, that we're ready, we have things in order, we know how to get to different things as far as our money, as far as all of those things. And so there's a lot of different aspects. And why this information or this uh, mindset actually came about is because I've been sitting with people that are in the Bitcoin space that live in places like Utah, they live in places like Wyoming, and they're really preparing themselves and their families for something. And I won't say I know exactly what it is, but I am watching them prepare themselves to have everything that they need in order for their family for at least a month and a half. And I've been really watching and listening and kind of doing a little bit of research as to what these individuals are actually doing and buying. Some of them are shopping for and purchasing and building things like bunkers, things that we don't think about here in the United States. I just never thought about ever having some sort of bunker or something where if the family needs to go and be safe, that they can be safe. And I think because of what we were talking about yesterday, or what I brought out on air yesterday about uranium and these nuclear war and these nuclear warheads and all of those things, I think a lot of people are thinking more about what if they need to get somewhere to get safe. But the conversations are coming out just a little bit more than they had been after COVID. You know, after COVID, we all were thinking anything could happen. And I think a lot of us have gotten amnesia as to what could possibly happen if, if there was some sort of natural disaster or any type of war or anything like that. And so, one of the things, as we talked about yesterday, as it relates to uranium, and I was supposed to be breaking down for each and every one of you what actually is taking place with the uranium so that you can do your own research and see how it's actually relevant to you. And I'm going to allow you to do that. And so I will be making sure, and I promise you tomorrow, I'll make sure that you have all of the information that you need so you can just take a look at some other investment opportunities. And not to say that anything is going to make you any type of money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but as we look at different things that are going on, one of the things that we know is that opportunities are everywhere right now. And so some of the things that we're going to be talking about is in this space, in this cryptocurrency and blockchain space, but how do you also take advantage of some of the other opportunities that are out there outside of cryptocurrency? Again, they're all in the same ecosystem, but we want to make sure that people are really understanding how to take advantage of some of these things. And because this thing called blockchain, which again, Bitcoin is on the blockchain. So you can definitely not utilize Bitcoin without the blockchain, but the blockchain is a database, a sophisticated database that can work with or without Bitcoin because our information is going to be stored on these blockchains. And when I first got into the cryptocurrency space, I thought that both of those went together. We found out that they didn't, but we also decided to invest in Bitcoin, but we decided also to invest in some blockchain companies. And so when we decided to invest in these blockchain companies, a whole world opened up to us as to what the smartest way to do it is, who should we be investing in, what banks should we be looking at that are possibly getting into having blockchain technology. I'll tell you right now, Bank of America holds the most um, patents for blockchain technology right now in this space. Not to say that you should be investing in Bank of America, but I am saying that you have an opportunity if you're not so open to buying this cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. You can actually invest in blockchain companies as well that are coming up and coming, that have things going to ensure that you're able to participate in this new economy in some shape, form, or fashion. And I say, if you already have stock, that's a fabulous thing. But you can also make sure that you are getting involved with some other types of investments within the space. And I'm saying this because we've had this conversation about self sovereignty and about stocks. And so everybody is saying, well, if we're self sovereign and we're putting our money into where the banks are or where the blockchain is, let's just say you invest in Bank of America in their blockchain. Well, you can't invest in their blockchain, but you can invest in their company, which then actually implements the blockchain that they're utilizing. But there is no guarantee that the money that Bank of America has that belongs to us is going to do what it needs to do. So, in the diversification of that banking system, maybe you're investing in the blockchain because maybe other banks will come on and use the blockchain, and then it becomes more meaningful. Then the stock goes up for that particular corporation. And so, as we look at self sovereignty as a whole, there's just so many different facets of what we need to be doing. But I will tell you, diversification is going to be massive. And I'm looking at all these boom cycles. I'm talking with these families that I've been sharing with you. That we're getting together on a regular basis to talk about the different boom cycles and where we can take advantage of these different markets is really critical that you understand that each one of them are kind of interchangeable right now as it relates to the cryptocurrency and the blockchain space, because some of the cryptocurrency tokens that are coming out, some of the different cryptocurrency platforms that are coming out, they also are going public just like Coinbase did. And you have the ability to invest in them, especially if you're in the stock market already, but you have the opportunity to invest in the stock, but you also have the opportunity to invest in the cryptocurrency. And I wanted to make sure that everyone was clear about that. But the reason I don't particularly look at investing in both the token and the stock if those companies have those, is because I still feel as though the value that we're getting is just, I don't think it's a real value. I think it's what value is what is perceived by those individuals that are utilizing it, right? And if they've done a lot of marketing with their company, if they've done a lot of paying of celebrities, which we're seeing these celebrities having to pay some of this money back, you can't really trust those things. And you need to be able to verify things. And so I want to make sure that as we're talking about self sovereignty and diversity, that you really understand in this space is just really easy if you start off slow, really understanding one coin particularly first, why it's there, why it exists, what the actual game plan is down the line, not right now. And then you decide to venture off, and then you can get into some of these other cryptocurrencies if that's what you choose to do. Now, again, I don't provide any financial advice. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't either way, but I need everyone to do their due diligence and understand that the end game for both cryptocurrency and stock eventually is to have your self sovereignty financially. So you don't want to be depending on Social Security for retirement. We don't want to be depending on the banks in order for us to get our money out. We don't want to be depending on the grocery stores in its totality to feed our families. And so, all of these things, as we continue to look at the different facets of self sovereignty, it really gives us an opportunity right now while the markets are slow, and I'm calling them slow because we're still in the crypto winter. This time gives us an opportunity to actually step back and really pay attention to the things that matter, but really hone in as well on what our actual plan is. So if you're not meeting with someone regularly, or you're not getting around a group of individuals that are actually talking the same language as you, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice. And so one of the things I feel like you can do is really start to plug in a little bit more. I know you all are listening to the broadcast, but we have some things that you should be doing on a monthly basis just to really sharpen your tools in this space. And again, getting in and understanding some of the vocabulary, some of the vernacular around the cryptocurrency space, why people say the things that they say. Why are we telling you not your keys, not your coin? What is a key? All of those things. If you're just beginning to tune in, which we're getting a lot of questions from newbies, it is really important that you understand we can't every day go back over the basics. But if you go back to KBLA1580.com, you can listen to some of the past podcasts, and it'll bring you kind of up to speed as to where we are. But I have to make sure that we know our goal, ladies and gentlemen, in our community should be self sovereignty. And because of the fact that we spend an incredible amount of our lives on a daily basis, depending on corporations that don't have faces to provide for us with goods and services that we need to thrive and survive. In no small way, many of us would be lost if our access to corporations, our access to the food that they provide, or the clothes or the medicine was taken away from us. We would be in trouble. So, who can forget that corporations are also essential? And so, because they're essential, that's where the stock thing comes in, right? These companies are essential. And we know that at some point, most people that are not like us, that are not self sovereign, and I know we've got some work to do to be fully self sovereign, but these companies are essential, and there is a never ending quest for the people around us for entertainment, education, food, and all of the other connections that they need. So there are hundreds of millions of people whose level of dependency are still there. And so, as we talk about old money and new money, I want to let you all know that these can absolutely be interchangeable. You can have all of this in your portfolio and do quite well. In fact, you should, because if something falls apart, then you have some other things to fall back on. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we go forward or when we come forward, we are going to continue the cryptocurrency conversation. And I would like to let you know that there are several companies right now that have their hand in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, but they're on the stock market. And a couple of folks are asking me what they should do about these different stocks. And I can't say either way, but I do know, because we are pushing ourselves towards self sovereignty and we know exactly how much money is needed for our families in our retirement. We got to take a poke at everything. So when we come forward, we'll jump into the cryptocurrency conversation, and we will continue when we come forward. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, welcome forward. Welcome forward. Well, we are going to just end that last conversation because I wanted to make sure that I give you something to sink your teeth into. And the reason we're doing this again is because the goal is self sovereignty with our money, self sovereignty with our food, self sovereignty with our person, and things that we're able to do because we have gained self sovereignty. But as we look at the money portion of it, and investing in this thing called cryptocurrency, which is an overarching category, and again, I explain it. Cryptocurrency is an overarching category. There's over 30,000 different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin being the first. And well, I don't, it's not the first one, but it's the first successful one. I'll continue to say that. And then all these spin-offs that have happened, that is the cryptocurrency space. Now, yes, you can get invested in that, but you can also get invested in the blockchain. And I know we don't talk a lot about that, and that looks like blockchain stocks. And if you think back to the gold rush, and I'm going to be very quick with this so we can really understand that gold rush, and getting that gold was very disruptive to any other forms of money that were out there. And so we started using gold. But during the gold rush, ladies and gentlemen, it was not necessarily only the people who got gold who were the ones that actually got rich. A lot of people got rich selling picks and axes, things that were supplemental or things that were needed, tools that were needed to continue to get this type of mineral out of the earth. And so as we look at the cryptocurrency space, if we took the thought about picks and axes, what else we could invest in other than the actual thing, just like the gold is the thing, the Bitcoin would be the thing. The next thing would be the blockchain. And so as people are asking, what else can we do in this space? I am saying, taking a look at companies that are implementing blockchain technologies, not just for themselves, but for the greater good of the community, of the world. Again, all of these different companies have white papers or they have explanations as to why they exist, what they seek to do, when they seek to do it. They have timelines. Let's really start to uh, open our eyes to understand that there is more in this space than just these cryptocurrencies because there's so many other opportunities. I'm not going to say jump into any hedge funds or anything like that because that takes you paying a whole lot of attention 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to some of the things that are happening in the market for you not to lose in those spaces. However, there are some things that you can be doing as it relates to that we won't get into obviously on air. But again, the final goal, ladies and gentlemen, is self sovereignty. And we're going to have a little bit more conversation about self sovereignty with your money, as we have done and continue to do. But just really just try to make sure that we hone in and that, I know everybody's situation is different. Everybody's thinking a different thing. Everybody has a different level of money that they can afford to lose, which means that's what they're investing, be it the stock market, be it whatever it is that they're doing right now, cryptocurrencies. We've got to just make sure that we actually have a plan in place. And so I'm looking right now for those picks and axes during this cryptocurrency or this Bitcoin rush, because that's what I call it. Because next year, 2024, there is definitely going to be some changes in the Bitcoin protocol that you're going to benefit from by being here. You're going to benefit from being here, learning what it looks like, how it matters, and all of those things. And so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. And so, for those of you that were asking the question about exactly what else in this space is there besides just the cryptocurrency, I hope that that was something that you could really take heed and start to take a look at the picks and the axes in this space, not just the actual coin itself. And you can do the coin itself. I suggest you do the coin, but are there picks and axes that may go along with that? Are there other companies that you could possibly be investing in that provide tools to speculators? I'll just say it that way. And so I'm looking at some of those type companies to kind of sink my teeth into as well. And again, you've got to be very real well rounded right now in this new economy because things are changing, things are changing, things are changing. They're no longer the same. And so we've got to know that. And so our quote for the day in this cryptocurrency space is very, very simple. I was sitting here this morning and just really thinking about if we all got involved in Bitcoin, if things will get better. And, I can't necessarily say that that is the truth that everybody will get better because even if people got a massive amount of funds, unfortunately, our community has to be retaught not to be so much of spenders as they should be savers and investors. And so I think we got a lot of work to go. And so my conversation this morning with someone was about reparations. And if reparations got into the hands of our community, well, what we do, we would go get bigger cars, bigger houses, we would buy bigger toys, and we would enjoy ourselves more and more. And so I came up with this quote this morning because I was just thinking, if we get Bitcoin in our portfolio, is it going to make things better? And I'm saying I cannot say that if they change to Bitcoin, things will get better. What I can say is that they must change to Bitcoin if they are to do better. And I just think with Bitcoin comes a whole new way of thinking. And if you don't believe me, really start to get deep into this space and understand that most of us that are in this space are thinking totally different from how we were raised, totally different from what they taught us in school, totally different from what we got our degrees in college. In fact, today I was talking with a lawyer, just today, talking to a lawyer, and he is like, oh my goodness, I spent thousands of dollars and I've been practicing law. Again, that word practice. He's been practicing law for, so many years, and he's seeing the massive changes that are coming into the space. And he's saying nothing is going to be the same. He's saying this cryptocurrency stuff, even though artificial intelligence and things of that sort have absolutely nothing to do with artificial intelligence. He's saying, I'm seeing how the computers are helping us litigate our cases. We may not even have to show up in court because artificial intelligence is going to be a way that people can litigate their cases without ever even hiring us. And so, what does that say, to our self sovereignty? We depend on everybody to do something for us. But if in front of us are these computers and this artificial intelligence that can start to allow us to be a little bit, we're still going to be dependent, I think, at some point, because we're going to depend on these computers to do some of the things like he was talking about, litigations. But we really do want to be self sovereign and make sure that we have everything at our fingertips at all times. And it's really, really critical because things are changing so fast. There's just it's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen, and we've really got to get serious about paying attention to the things that matter. And I am saying to the community, and I said this yesterday in a talk that I did with a large group of African Americans, it's time to start stepping away from the TV just a little bit more, to start to pay attention to some real things. It's no longer can we engulf ourselves in stuff that's not reality based. And I'm not telling you to go watch reality TV because that's not it at all. But we really got to pay attention. This is probably one of the most important times of our lives. And we've got to pay attention to what's going on. And you've got to be able to be ahead of things in order to know, how to move today so that you can affect that change and be that change in the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, months out, all of these things, because again, things are changing. They're changing so fast. Sometimes I'm looking up and wondering, what in the world are we going to actually do? And I have to tell you, in the financial services space, around 2000, I'm going to say around 2015, 2016, ladies and gentlemen, I literally was sitting several days at Transamerica with my hands on the top of my head, wondering what in the world we are going to do. What are we going to do for our communities? How is our community even going to survive financially if we don't start to learn some new things and get some new lessons and have some new avenues? And those things are here. And I know we're ahead of the crypto curve, but I will tell you that self sovereignty looks so different if you start to pay attention to the new technologies that are out there because they can help you get so much further faster. And I'm not talking about just having money, but I'm talking about getting further in the things that you're trying to accomplish. If you're trading, which is in the money space, they now have bots that can help you do some of those things. You've got to pick and choose which ones you utilize, which ones work, which ones are not being pumped to you by some individual that wants to sell it, but it's there, it's available. Some of those things have not been available for those people that have learned to trade. Now, you definitely need to learn how to trade on your own so that when the bots are not working, you can do it on your own. But to be able to use that technology to get you a little bit further, faster, are the things that we're talking about in this space. And I believe Bitcoin is going to get us a little further faster than anything that we've done to try to close this wealth gap. And as we look at food and self sovereignty with food and just so many different things, ladies and gentlemen, it's our time to really pay attention and to get into some change making mechanisms. So when we come forward, we're going to continue the conversation. We've got a couple of things that are going on in the cryptocurrency space you need to know about. But for the most part, we are definitely looking at our market, and Bitcoin is up a little bit today from what it was yesterday. So we're going to talk about that when we come forward. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, welcome forward. And this is March 1st, which is Women's History Month. And so, all this month, we will be learning about different women that are in the cryptocurrency space that are actually making a big difference. And today, I am actually honoring Miss Tavania Evans. She is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and she is the actual creator, the developer, and the visionary behind Guap coin. And so, for those of you that don't know what guap is, in different parts of the country, our youth call money guap. And she came up with guap coin. And guap coin was designed to recycle black dollars. And so, again, I share with you that I am a recovering coinaholic. But before I was recovering, I definitely was all into guap coin. I'm still in the guap coin because I love what it is it does. But Tavanya has really put her heart and soul into guap coin, and she's tried to ensure that we can recycle black dollars with a cryptocurrency that was an alternative to Bitcoin. And that's what she has again, Guap Coin. So you can check Tavanya out. You can Google Guap Coin, GUWAP, Guap Coin, and GUAP. COIN, Guap Coin. And you can find Tavanya Evans. In fact, they are listing her now as among one of the 17 most influential women in the cryptocurrency space. And so we're excited about that. Some of the events that are going on this week that you should be taking a look at. I'll make sure that that everyone has the link. But on Sunday evening, this coming Sunday, I will be doing a event for the young lady. Her name is Dr. Heavenly. She is in the show called Married to Medicine. It's a reality show. She has a 5-day event where she is talking about wealth and different things that she's doing. And I am going to be talking to them about the state of the black community and cryptocurrency on Sunday. And I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be live, and we'll make sure that everyone has a link to register for that. If you like to hear what the state of Black America is as it relates to cryptocurrency, I will be doing that on Sunday. And then on Saturday, I will be doing a crypto essential. If you're interested in that, please reach out to me via social media, or you can send that text message to the number that we have, which is 424-317-7373. Again, 424-317-7373. And then we also we just want to make sure that each and every one of you are getting an opportunity to see other types of venues that are related to educating on in this cryptocurrency space, because there's just so many different things that are happening, and people are trying to make sure that they're getting the education that they need. And also, I have been offered a TV station. So I have my own TV. It's not my own network, but it's my own channel. And it's called the DeFi Network. It's the DeFi Network. And so I'm excited about that. And that's on a platform called JD3 TV. And we'll be rolling that out here in the next couple of weeks so that people can start to take a look at that. I have done a master class, one of the first cryptocurrency master classes that I've seen, and it's called The Language of Crypto. And you'll have the opportunity to take a look at all of those things. As you travel, as you're in your car, wherever you are, you'll be able to. We just want to make sure that we have education everywhere that you can access so that you never feel as though you're not smart in this space, because this space is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And we all have to make sure that we're learning all we can right now. Again, while it's quiet, when we're in what's called a crypto winter, all the get rich quick people fall away, all of the hype falls away. And this is just, it's almost like, when something happens in your family and then everybody is in an uproar, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a quiet space where it's just you and whatever that situation is. Well, we're there. I believe we're in that quiet situation right now in the cryptocurrency space, because there's been so much chaos and things going on with these different exchanges. So this is your opportunity to learn. This is your opportunity to get yourself planted. I was going to say earn, but again, I don't want to provide any financial advice. And so we are just making sure that we're understanding this digital revolution that and the changes that are being made, how it relates to us, how we can get better involved, how we can start to pay attention to all different things because everything isn't for everybody. And some of the things that I say you may not be interested in, but you may be interested in just getting exposure through the blockchain and those things. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. And we're going to, in this month of March, pick back up with our first thing, which is wine, women, and crypto. And we'll probably be, we'll give you the information on wine, women, and crypto. You can view that. That'll be done online, and you can grab your glass of wine and listen in as we talk to women that are in the crypto space. We're going to do Bitcoin business basics. We're talking to business owners that want to implement Bitcoin into their business as a um, um, a way to accept a different currency. So you accept Cash App, Bitcoin, regular money, of course, credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discover. Those all become a part of how you're able to accept money. And so we teach businesses to do that. And we're also doing coinomics this month. And we're gonna take a coin, we're gonna break that coin down, we're gonna find out who owns it, what it's designed to do, and all of those things. And so we're partnering with several entities to just make sure you get the right information about these different cryptocurrencies. And we'll do that in the month of March. So when we come forward, we're going to jump into our daily dollar cost average. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome forward. We are going to embark on our last month of doing $6 a day. Somebody just reminded we are just about 30 days away from our $6 a day that we've been doing for an entire year. And just to share how much I've actually invested and how much it actually is worth at the point that we put everything together on April 1st. I'm excited about this. And we're going to look at it every 6 months. I don't know how often we're going to look at it. As much as people ask me, I'm not going to touch that account. I'm just going to let it grow and we'll see where we are in a year or so. And so you'll get an opportunity to see just how good or just how bad that investment was for myself. And again, never invest more than you can afford to lose. So my $6 that I'm not spending on Starbucks is what I am putting into Bitcoin on a daily. So with that, we're going to take out our Black Wall Street wallet and we are going to open up the Black Wall Street wallet. It is on your cell phone. It can be downloaded from your app store or from your Android store. And you just click on the purple circle in the middle. And when you do that, you are going to click the buy asset. And once you hit the buy asset, I am going to click on $6. And I'm going to do this one time. And the wallet I'm putting it in is the KBLA Talk 1580 wallet that I have set up. And I am continuing to dollar cost average. And once I do that, I just click continue. And voila, I have purchased my $6 worth of Satoshis. A Satoshi is the smallest increment of a Bitcoin, like a penny is the smallest increment of a dollar. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for rocking with me today on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you.
You're listening to Najah Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. Please follow her on all social media platforms at Najah Roberts. No underscores, no dots, no numbers, just Najah Roberts. Let's close the wealth gap. It's our turn. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Learn or get left behind. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve.